Welcome to Folio, an actual play podcast about solo and epistolary TTRPGs. I'm your host, Satah, and I'm showcasing multiple possible experiences of self-paced games by inviting guests to play them alongside me so I can compile our stories together. You can support the show financially at patreon.com/foliopod or with a one-off donation at ko-fi.com/foliopod. This is the fifth and final episode of our games of Friendly Neighborhood Superhero, a solo RPG about protecting, befriending, and improving a community by Cat Scratcher Studio. The other two welcoming district hoagies. Can't believe thesaurus.com would betray me like this. There's nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. I've already recorded it. Joining me today are Gwen, Frankenstien, and Jeff Stormer. If you want to hear more of Jeff playing superhero games, go tune into Party of One to hear Kieran Gillen and him play Apocalypse Keys. That's fucking exciting. Sneak preview for little old me. That's great. Okay, cool. So it's day 4.
Okay, so this will hopefully be our final day of Friendly Neighborhood Superhero.
All right, day 4, here we go. Let's begin with a rolling to start my day.
I love, by the way, that in the rulebook it says a session should take about half an hour, and it has fully taken me like 3 weeks to record this.
Let's see what I was doing when I came across a problem. Oh my god, I rolled a 3. You were at your day job when suddenly a crime. Yeah, that's pretty much what it's like.
That's a 5. More running errands. Running errands in this case, I think, is Kelvin has decided to pick up groceries for Miss Juarez. So he's got 2 giant bags of groceries in hand, you know, walking up the boardwalk. He's doing the thing where he's trying to carry too many groceries in one trip rather than make several smaller trips. He's hit up like 3 or 4 different stores, and people have asked him if he needs help, and he has turned it down every time. And I think for the first time that I've been playing this game, we're going to start with a crime and not a neighbor needing help. Great. I'm excited about this. This feels great to me.
We are helping a neighbor this morning.
There's a lightning speedster who's trying to bring eternal darkness through the mafia.
14, an alien weaponsmith. 19 wants to move the neighborhood through time. Or 17 wants to build a giant robot. Mind controlling the authorities or an army of animals. So it's either an army of animals or building a giant robot or mind controlling the authorities to move moving the neighborhood through time feels good. And like that opens up a really interesting wrinkle in the process, which I think is very compelling. Both making it an alien weaponsmith like this, especially since this might be the last day of this chapter of this particular playthrough. It feels pretty good to like have a confrontation with the Cronenberg Foundation and to expose that they are also aliens from the future, a la Highlander 2: The Quickening. That feels great. That feels great, like, and the idea that they are specifically, like, moving the neighborhood through time and mind controlling the authorities, like, this energy, this cosmic energy has been bleeding through the city. It has, you know, triggered superpowers in people much like Thermal, an animatronic who we met yesterday. I think the honest answer in my head, and this is perhaps somewhat unavoidable and also very, very heavy, I'm going to just throw in like a content warning for government abuse of state power, but like I picture that this is, you know, partnering with the police to establish this group of people with these powers as a threat, X-Men style, and outfit police with these like pieces of technology that would activate these sort of power beacons in empowered individuals, allowing them to sort of like activate gateways and possibly finally pull open this gate with this demon prince. Like this is sort of the culmination of that plan.
Let's help an anxious journalist recover a stolen item. All right.
And you know what? One of the things that the book says is you may instead roll for both tables at once, creating a huge situation in which the neighbor needs help because of the crime, and both happen at the same time. I think that because this is most likely going to be my last day of the game, That's exactly what I'm going to do. So the local snobby activist. Oh no. This already feels like it's going to be a problematic portrayal. How old are they? 6. Being to whom time is meaningless. I mean, that's great. That means they're protesting something weird as hell, probably. And what do they need my help with? Carrying their groceries? Okay.
So we get a call from our contact at the local TV station, QPNR Golden Pastures. And there we hear from local journalist Terrence Maloney. And Terrence says, hi, is this the hotline for the Blue Shepherd? Yes it is. How may I help you? Yeah, I'm calling from the TV station, and our weather prompter is missing. I don't know what happened, but it looks like it's been stolen in the night. No problem, neighbor. I'll be there shortly.
Okay, let's put these pieces together. So first off, this is a being to whom time is meaningless. I got one of these before, and it was like an alien. This could be another alien, could be a ghost. Ooh, cyborg or android. This is an android. And the thing about that is that their groceries, which they need help carrying, it isn't just food. It's like, it's power, right? Or it's batteries, it's metal, it's WD-40. It's stuff that a robot needs to live. Meanwhile, okay, I'm going to roll for the personality of the lightning speedster to see if I get a little bit more determined. That makes sense. Gonna just, again, to see. And worried. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to put that on the back burner a little bit, but that just makes me think that maybe they don't mean to be explicitly villainous. There's something that they're genuinely worried about, and they think they're solving, but they're doing it in a really shitty way. We'll see.
We're now at a question of how do we stop this? And I think the answer is we have to expose to the public what the Cronenberg Foundation is doing. I think that's what has to happen here. And so I'm going to look at my abilities and decide, I think we're seeing this crackdown happen. We're seeing this ramp up of militarization, and maybe even Kelvin's plan to partner with Councilwoman Joella is kind of backfiring, and the Cronenberg Foundation is using that to go on the offensive. So how do we bring that out into the light? How do we expose this in a way that is definitive and will make a difference? Who boy does Jeff feel that phrasing in 2025, and who boy is that a lot to take in? Here we go.
I'm at the cafe, and I think what it is that I actually start this one not as Orbit. This is just Trina getting off shift, and this android neighbor, I'm gonna name them R44LL-3 Rally, because they're an activist android. They're walking by, and their steps are slow. We live in the same building or something. We're like neighbors. And I walk up and I'm like, how's it going? Can I give you a hand? And they're like, yes, I waited too long to buy backup batteries, and so I am very low power and can't charge properly until I get home. I will get there, but I'm in power saving mode, so it's very slow. This would be a great help if you could carry these for me. I'm in person mode, not hero mode. Okay. Yeah, so I'm helping to carry their groceries and just walking really slowly beside them. And they're like, ugh, if only somebody could lift me. And I sort of eye them and I'm like, you know what? Actually, let me call Orbit. I bet that she might be able to give you a hand. And I hand them their groceries back, and they don't get that far. They're moving very slowly. I go and change. I come back as Orbit, and I'm going to try and lift them, rolling a power roll. I am using my signature ability. That gives me 3d6, and this is the thing they're impressed by, so I get... it's not resisted. So 3d6, I need a 5 or a 6. 1, 5, and 2. Okay, so I do it. Mark progress, and my streak. Oh, I know one of the things they're snobby about. I forgot that one of the things going on in this place is the like science and magic unity. And I think this android is a little grumpy about it. Is cool, lives here, whatever. But like as I lift them up, they're like, remind me, the source of your powers is technological, right? And I'm like, oh, actually, it's moon magic. And they're like, And I wonder if this is their activism. A lot of magic, like, droids can't do. They can do some, but there's some that is very much, like, channeled physically and needs, like, blood and body stuff. I don't want this to be a Star Wars droids don't have the Force ass thing. But, you know, there are just certain, like, similarly to how most organic human people can't conduct electricity, for instance, in the way that this character would be able to. There's a lot of like very organic physical magic that they can't do. And they are worried, maybe correctly, that like leaning too hard into magic is going to systematically cut people like them out of doing things. And so that is just like, they happen to be somebody who shows up to the meetings, town hall, to make sure that the balance of that is actually being kept in balance and that it isn't leaning too far in that direction. That's sort of their pet cause.
I mean, step one is we can't expose anything if we don't have evidence. Step one is having to like obtain clear evidence of the Cronenberg Foundation's role in activating these superpowers, and more specifically their role in like arranging a partnership with this demon prince on the other side of a dimensional gate, which is a lot to take in. I'm going to invoke my signature ability here. I'm going to use skill because I think I'm like stealthily breaking into a facility, which means I'm rolling 5 dice. It is not opposed because heart is the opposed matter here, and that is a single 5, which gives me a point of progress.
As we're walking, somebody falls into step beside us, and in a too casual voice is like, what you got there? And I like give them a weird side eye, and I'm like, sorry? They're like, in the bag. What you got? Sorry, who are you? And they try to rip the bag out of my hands. I think I'm gonna use power. I'm gonna try and do a power roll here to keep hold of it. But they are trying to just steal these groceries from me. And this is resisted because I have a streak because I succeeded with a roll earlier, but I am using my signature ability. So that's gonna be 3d6 and one has to be a 6. 1, 5, 1. Nope, no luck. Just going to take the extra die and mark a point of destruction, which I think is the bag splitting and these batteries and things just falling all over the street and smashing. And I'm just like, hey, what's the big idea? And this is a member of the mafia. They're trying to escape. Do I want to roll to grab them first? Yeah. I think it'll be a skill roll because it's about like moving quickly, like trying to grab them before they run away. And I am in fact using my signature ability because I'm exerting gravitational pull on them to try and make it harder for them to get away. And so that is 3 + 1, 4d6. And ooh, they are a mafia member. They are resistant to skill. Okay, so this is 46 and one of them needs to be a 6. 3, 1, 3. 3. Nope. Okay. So I'll mark a point of discredit. I will not mark an experience. I'm just... Oh, right. I had an extra die. It was a 5, so I still fail. But I need to just remember that. Okay.
So, like, I've broken into the facility. We see Kelvin, like, melt a window and, you know, freeze a camera so that the glass shatters on it and is cruising through this facility. He still has to hack into a system, but he's been studying this wrist gauntlet, so I'm going to get an extra point here. This is going to be mined. I'm not going to be able to use my powers on this necessarily, but I do have an extra dice activated because I've been studying this wrist gauntlet and, like, the technology the Cronenberg Foundation have been using. Again, not opposed. I just need a 5. Oh, this is a good time to roll a failure is the thing, and that's a point of miscalculation. I'm going to take the extra dice here and not the point of experience And I think that things are going to escalate in a very big way. I mean, security, rushes in and baby, we are in a fight scene and I am rolling 5 dice because I think that Thermal is done playing the fuck around. These private security forces are about to get a big old fireball to the face.
So I don't manage to grab them. They manage to get away. And I'm going to give chase is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put Rally down for now and just sprint after this person, which I think is a power roll, which is resisted. So let's see. I have a 2 in power. I'm using my ability to try and, bounce and be fast. Maybe even try and get in front of them. Ooh, wait, yeah. I'm going to make this a skill roll. It's going to be resisted anyway because they are resistant to skill. But rather than just barreling after them, I'm going to try and use my gravitational powers to hit the perfect angle while jumping off of something and whip back to land in front of them. Rather than chasing behind them, I'm going to try and just hop and get in their way. 3 points in skill, 1 point from my signature ability, and 1 point from failing the last roll brings me to 5d6, and one of them does need to be a 6. 3, 2, 4, 1. Rough. Okay. Mark a point of discredit. And this is just I totally miscalculate the my powers are stronger. I'm not used to how much stronger they are, right? And this is a point of discredit, not of destruction, because I used skill, and so it's I just look goofy. I'm super awkward in the air and land roughly, and it just looks like I don't have control over this because I didn't in that moment. I messed it up, and I don't catch them. I'm still behind them, at least. I'm not, or funnier to me, I think I land in front of them, but too far ahead in front. They see, I wanted to land right in their way, and I managed to get in front of them, but I'm a block ahead. And so they look and their eyebrows go up and they just dash into an alley.
That's 5 dice. That is 1 6, 3 2s, and a 3. Jesus. Great. Good. That's a second point of progress. We are tearing through these security guards. This is a very elaborate fight scene. I mean, dragon punches and big fireballs freezing people's guns to their hands and then slamming them into the wall. Very imagine, laser beams and fireballs mixed in with the hallway fight from Daredevil. That's the vibe of what we are getting here. But crucially, that means we still don't have the footage that we need.
What's my next plan to try and catch them? I do think at this point I'm just throwing myself at it, right? I'm okay, shit, I just need to catch up. And I'm levitating, I'm bouncing, I'm scaling a wall and trying to just get them. And so this is going to be a power roll, which I have a streak in, so it is resisted. I am using my signature ability. I have an extra die from failing. That brings me to 46. I need it to be a 6. 2, 3, 5, 2. Fuck, man. Okay. Destruction. I catch up to them. I go to tackle them. I miss, and I just take out a dumpster. Just explode it everywhere. Oh my god. If I get another destruction point, then okay. I wasn't paying attention. If I get another destruction point, then that's the thing that I do. So careful.
Me and my dog put on our outfits and we go and we superhero. Now I suspect that in this town, if the weather prompter has gone missing, then that means someone is probably trying to use it to control the weather. That seems to be the sort of thing that occurs around here. And I'm gonna roll a d20 to discover what villain may have made off with the teleprompter in order to integrate it into their weather control device. It is an evil mastermind. Well, I think I could have told you that. Oh my god, their name is Brainstorm, obviously.
If I crashed into a dumpster, it's easy to imagine we're in an alley. So I think the thing that I'm going to do here, my final attempt to just get this person to stop running, is I want to pull a fire escape. We're in an alley. I'm going to pull a fire escape down in front of them. Not actually yank it off the wall, hopefully, but like trying to just very carefully target the ladder to hopefully fall down in front of them and make them stumble for long enough that I can catch up. And so I think this is a skill roll. They do resist it. I have an extra die from failing, and I've got my signature ability. That's 5d6. I need a 6. 5, 4, 1, 1, 6. Hey, what's up? Yay, I did it. Okay. I'll move my streak to skill.
I think we're going to have to take a different approach here. I'm going to have to broadcast something. I'm going to make another mind roll. I'm going to take another third dice here, and we're going to broadcast a signal out to the city. If I can't get into their records, I'm just going to have to do it live. Again, not opposed. 5 or 6. That's a 6. That's what we needed. That's a third point of progress.
I yank the fire escape down in front of them, and they stumble. They try to dodge around it, but the wall's right there. They try to dodge the other way, but it slows them down just enough that I can catch up, and I grab them, and I'm just holding them in my gravity, and I'm going to try and just be like, who are you? What was that? And this is going to be a heart roll because I'm trying to intimidate them into telling me what the fuck that was. I am using my signature ability because it's scary. They're trying to get away and they can't. I'm just holding them there without even directly, like they managed to, break my grip. I'm holding their arms. They managed to open one of my hands, but they can't pull their arm away from my palm because I'm using my gravity. And so this is going to be 3d6 and just needs to be a 5 or a 6. 4, 2, 1. Oh my God. Do I want to spend a super point? Yes, I'm going to spend a super point, which means I can add 2d6 to that. And this is just, I'm having to really push my powers to hold them still, I think that if they kept trying to pull away, it would work eventually. I'm trying to just supercharge myself in this moment to keep them still for long enough that they stop trying to fight and are scared into giving up the goods, the information. Roll 2 more d6, and hopefully one is a 5 or 6. 1 and a 4. So, go up to 5 misreadings. Oh, should you fail your test after going super, add points to the respective attributes drawback equal to your ability power level. Okay, so I'm 1 point away from an ending in heart achievement, which is inspiration, and drawback power and heart, which is destruction and misreading. Oof. They're not intimidated, first of all, right? They're just laughing in my face, and they stop fighting just long enough that I kind of relax because like I said, I was having to really focus on boosting my powers in that moment to hold them there, but wouldn't be able to do it for a long time. They relax just long enough that I do, and then they yank away. And they're just like, wow, yeah, if you're the best this city's got, no wonder. And I'm like, no wonder what? And they just essentially disappear. A car rolls up to the end of the alley, and they dive into it, and they are gone.
This has Brainstorm's fingerprints all over it. There's a telltale low pressure front around Brainstorm's lair. And the thing is, I bet you that Vampire can probably sense pressures, probably pressure sensitive. Because, dogs freak out when there's a rainstorm. That's the thought I'm having. Is this power or skill? I'm gonna fudge it and say it's skill because my skill is higher. Yes, I succeeded. I succeeded on both dice, which is very exciting.
Oh my God, I'm so scared. I need to check if I end the game immediately if I hit the points, because it could really happen anytime. Keep playing through days until a reputation reaches 10, then end your journey. But I think it's at that end, so I think that I'll finish the day regardless. I think that's what I do. Okay, so I think I finished the day, but it could really be any time. Okay. Oh gosh. Because here's the thing, I want to go back and help Rally. The only thing that Rally doesn't resist is power. If I fail another power roll, that's it. If I fail another heart roll, that's it.
What we're going to have to do here, and I think this might unfortunately be heart, but I think I can invoke a second dice here at the very least. I'm trying to see if there's anything else I can do to game this, or if I could shift it to something else. My plan is to contact neighbourhood from the other side of this gate to basically get him monologuing, which I think has to be heart, but I do have a second dice here. Maybe I'm going to invoke a third dice here because I've got this technology, and maybe what it is that I want to bluff him into thinking that I know more about the plan, that I have cracked the gauntlets, cracked the things, than that I understand his plan, to get him monologuing about that plan into the microphone that I have hacked and broadcasted out to, at the very least, Councilwoman Joella, if not news reporters citywide. That's a 5 and a 3. I dropped my third dice. The tension is so real. That's a 6. Let's go. He bites right into it and starts gossiping about the deal that he made with the Cronenberg Foundation.
Okay, I'm not gonna go back to rally yet. I am going to try and just, if this car was close enough that this person was able to sort of back away from me and just leap into the car when somebody inside threw the door open, I am going to try and just throw myself onto the car to follow them. This is a power roll. I am using my signature ability, both to throw myself and to try to theoretically hold on to the car. And I might end up going super. I think I can go super 5 times, and you can recover super points by spending XP, but I had forgotten to use it at any point, and so I never did that. So it kind of works. I've got all of those for this run. I have 2 points in power. I'm using my ability. I just failed a roll, and I'm taking the extra die from that. 4d6. It just one of them needs to be a 5 or a 6. 1, 5, 6, and 6. Okay, good. Up to 3 progress. Move my streak to power. And yeah, I managed to hurl myself onto this car.
And now, the 4 progress dice that I'm going to roll here, this ties into mine because I'm just seeing if my plan worked. This is going to be a 5 or a 6. That's a 5 and a 6. That's what we needed. That is a 6th point of control. We are 1 point of control away from ending and finishing the game and achieving a win condition. People listen, people tune in. Their plan is exposed. Obviously I don't think the authorities are going to do much about it because they have money and people with money are immune from the law. Kids unionize your workforce. But I think that we do have to, at least at the very least, it's going to open up the possibility for a confrontation with Crystal Cronenberg as she stares down her plan exposed, knowing that I know everything. We're going to have our final big confrontation, which I'm very excited about.
This leads nicely into my crime. So rather than make this be a day consisting of 2 discrete events, I think it makes sense to just roll the d20 again here. So they are trying to move the neighborhood through time by terror. No, that doesn't make sense. No, I already did an army of robots. Technically we already know their method. Their method is controlling the weather. So I'm just gonna pick one. Mind controlling the authorities makes sense. Yeah. So they are strong to mind and heart.
I'm going to try and get in one of the windows. Which, let's say that they've unrolled a window to try and push me off. Do they have guns? Is that a thing in this universe? Or this specific, they're the mafia, so I feel like they have to. But it's also a weird science magic town. Oh my god, a magic mafia. Yeah, they don't have guns. They have staves. One of them, they've opened the window and they're trying to just not even do magic at me, just shove me off with a magic staff. And I am going to try and very carefully, make my way in the the window. I'm not brute forcing. I'm trying to just like, I like hold on to the staff, and I'm trying to just like very carefully, not falling off the car, get into the car through this open window. So yes, this is a skill roll. Yes, they resist it. But I have 3 points in skill. I'm using my ability. I did just succeed a roll, so I think that's it. 4d6, and I might go super after. If I still failed, that would also end it. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. So let's do 5d6 first, and one of them has to be a 6. No, 4d6. One of them has to be 6. 4. 4. 1. 5. Oh, man. Okay. Should I try to go super? Ugh, it would need to be a 6. No, I'm just going to take it. Okay. I'm trying to I managed to reach, I get my arm in the window, and I'm trying to like arc myself to get in, and I pull on the wrong thing with my gravitational force, and I actually roll the window up by accident, and I have to snap my arm back. Oh, I'm in such a place. Okay.
So she is an alien weaponsmith, which means mind is her resisted asset, which, okay, we'll deal with it. I'm going to roll skill plus power immediately, because I think that, like, she is bringing down every, like, security measure, every drone gun, every, like, security soldier, and first things first, I just got to get to her, and I got to, like, evade being shot or knocked unconscious. 5 dice. That's 2 5s, a 6. That's enough. That's a success. I mean, Thermal is now the most in his element that he has been maybe this entire game.
The thing I'm going to try and do is something that I'm not very good at, which is using my brain.
Effortlessly disarming guards and, melting drone things. This confrontation is so long in the making. I think he finally, just walks into her office. She's kind of staring him down. And I'm going to do something a little bit funky. I'm going to roll 2d6. She immediately turns and blasts an energy, an energy blast. She is, of course, one of the empowered individuals. I rolled for a power. I got energy effects. She's going to turn and shoot a lightning bolt. I think I'm going to have to roll out of the way. This is still 5 dice because I'm using fire to basically fly around the room. This is now an opposed roll because I've got my streak active. It don't matter, though, because that's a 6. That's a success. That's an experience point of success, baby. Let's cook. We are cooking. That is a 2nd point of progress towards this battle. She is bringing everything down, and... I think I'm able to deflect it. I'm throwing fireballs and ice shields. This is the first real superhero thing that we've seen. Because I think what has happened is she is trying to catch me in the exact same gambit that I caught them in, which is that she has been recording this, and she's going to use the fact that I am attacking her as public PR fodder, propaganda. So I need to definitively, I need to outsmart this. And show definitively that she is using powers and expose that she is a complicit part of all of this. That's a 6. That's a 6. That's a success. That's a progress and an experience. I think crucially what he's doing here, what Thermal is doing here is he's playing defense. He's not throwing any offense, and in doing so, he's very calmly explaining, what she did, what Neighbourhood said. He's clearly explaining all of this while using his powers to defend, so that he, targeted pacifism, and then waiting for the right moment to strike back. He's specifically playing to the cameras a little bit. We're getting a little bit pro wrestling, which I'm very excited about.
I'm on the top of this car. They haven't managed to knock me off yet. They're swerving. They don't want to have the windows open now because I tried to get in the car when they did that. They're just swerving. The thing I want to try to do is calculate a gravitational pull on the car that will just we're nearing a bridge, and I want to just pull the car towards the lake, because at least they won't be able to get away, and I will be able to get them out of the car to safety, but they'll be in the lake. And I'm trying to calculate angles. So this I think is a mind roll. I am using my ability. Another die from failing that roll. 3d6. 1, 2, 6. Yay! So I manage to get the right angle that the car ends up in the lake. Go up to 4 progress.
We've got 3 progress. I want to go for 1 or 2 more.
I would like to have 1 more progress point before I try and solve this.
I think that, like, if we're going to end this, I think she does have me in a position where if there's a move that I make and it's on camera, they're going to use it against me, so I'm going to melt these cameras. That's a 5 and a 6. That's a progress. Going beyond melting the cameras, because I think that, like, I think there's actually a more ambitious, maybe master plan that we can, like, put this whole thing to bed with. I am, like, specifically, like, melting computer wires and things to set up, and also the cameras to kind of, like, block this away. And I'm gonna roll once with power plus ability. I've got the cameras melted. We're locked in the room. She is, crackling lightning from her eyes and throwing lightning bolts. I am going to specifically blow up the computer console that controls the restraints on the portal to force her to have to deal with that and me. So it's 4 dice to get a 5th point of progress here. And that's a 6. That's a 5th point of progress.
I'm going to try and just pull the car out of the lake with my powers, but then they will be, like, in my control, and probably the car won't be able to go because it's full of water. This power roll, and I'm using my ability. 3d6, need a 5 or a 6. 3, 5, and another 5. That's okay. Okay, we're up to 5 progress. That's great. I pull the car out of the lake.
I think we start to hear neighbourhood like start to like punch through the portal. She's kind of in a panic mode moment of like, it's not time yet. Like we're not at full, or actually, I like, because her ultimate plan was to have neighbourhood come out. Like, I think what I actually want it to be is maybe triggering a meltdown. Like, all this energy is going to flood into the streets and cause like an absolute catastrophe, and she's kind of a little bit panicked. Obviously, like, you can't rule the world if it's been burned to ash. So forcing her into a position where she has to shut down the operation. That's the play. You were playing with fire, and he's gonna say, you were playing with fire, here's the whole damn inferno. And we're gonna roll 5 dice. This is mind. It is not resisted. It is resisted. Mind is resisted. Crap. Great. Okay, 5 dice. We need a 6.
And I am going to try and solve this problem. Unbeknownst to me, the leader of the mafia is in this car. I am holding the car just barely above the water. About the road. So the tires can't gain traction. And I do that until the engine sputters out from getting soaked in water. And I put the car down. And the door opens. And this like scary and hot woman in the most perfectly tailored suit of all time steps out and looks me in the eye. And she's like, oh my goodness. All of this for a little shoplifting? And I like kind of laugh and I'm like, stealing from a person, not from a store. And I guess that's worse. I don't know. But also I know how this town works. And I know you're up to something. I just don't know what it is. And I want to try and convince her to tell me what's going on. Because I don't even know what the villain's plan is yet. None of this has come up. I want to get her to tell me what's going on and give up. Kind of like give her a more appraising look. And I'm like, what's your crew doing holding up tired droids on the street anyway? And she smirks a little. She's like, well, you're right that there's more going on. I'll admit, I thought it would be more exciting than it has been. And I'm going to roll to try and solve this problem. This is heart. We're talking. I have 5 points. One of the angles I'm thinking of here is that she's like, this mafiosa thinks that maybe I'm more interesting than the lightning speedster who has hired her crew. And so is thinking of abandoning the mission for that. And also theoretically is kind of like, oh, it's not worth it. We didn't really think that there would be this much pressure on us this quickly. You're clearly very determined. So she's pretty close to just throwing it away and finding me more interesting than the lightning speedster. 5d6 Just one of them needs to be a 5 or a 6. 4, 6, 2, 1, 3. Doesn't matter. Had 6. Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's a 6. That's what we needed. That was a 6. Great. Good. Okay. Wonderful. We did it. The plan was a success. She shuts down the operation. And I think, she shuts it down. He, not great because that's opposed and that's already opposed. That, as she shut down the operation, that he had been broadcasting everything back into the summoning room with the Velrafood, so that now it is known that, she abandoned the plan to bring him to the surface. Has accepted, I know that you can't be brought to justice via the authorities, but if you backstab a demon prince and shut down the project, the terms of his agreement, he's not going to be very happy with you. And Thermal flies off, disappears into the night, and goes about his day.
And that is my 7th point in inspiration. So we're good. No matter what happens, I got my achievement ending. And it is very much, I'm just realizing how much I love the stupid sexual tension ending, of course. She looks me up and down and she's like, "Can you lift the car again?" And I sort of disgruntled, confused look. And she just steps away from it. She's been leaning on it. She just steps away and gestures. And I lift it a little. I step forward and lift it and put it back down. And she's like, "Huh, how'd you learn how to do that?" I just sort of shrug, gesture to the sky. And she's like, "Sure. Well, gonna be honest, I've been out of town for a little while. Me and my whole crew have. And so when someone contacted us with a job, it seemed like a really good opportunity to move back. And I think moving back is a good idea." She puts a hand on the hood of the car and is just, steam starts rising out of it. She's evaporating all the water out of it with magic to make it work again. And she says, "Because this town really is as interesting as I remember, actually." Looking me up and down. I step back a little and flush. And she's like, "Look, I'll call my people off. The rest is up to you, but why were we robbing tired droids? Because somebody really has it out for people with a little bit of spark. You know what I mean?" And I'm like, "I do not." And she laughs. And she's like, "Go to this abandoned warehouse." She just says an address and gets back in the car and they drive off.
All right, now we get to help out a neighbor. 18, 5, 10, a caring community leader carrying their... Oh, crap, I forgot Mrs. Juarez's groceries. Shit. Oh, God. Oh, no.
Brainstorm is trying to create a time displacement zone, and they need the parts from the TV station so they know what the weather will be like when we get there. And they are trying to mind control the mayor into believing that the TV broadcasts, which are saying that it's December 27th, 1978, are correct. And they will convince everyone, including the mayor, that it is still the 70s, and therefore cybercrime legislation doesn't exist yet, and therefore they can't be prosecuted. This makes perfect sense for a superhero comic. Shh, it does. Shh.
I'm going to go to this abandoned warehouse. The Lightning Speedster is in there, and I had rolled that they were determined and worried. I like the idea that they're doing this for a good reason, but they're doing it in a terrible way. They're trying to bring eternal darkness, and I do think it is literal. They targeted this droid because they're genuinely trying to destroy sources of electricity. It's only step 1, but they're like, if I want to take out artificial light, that's the first thing. And I think it's Lightning Speedster. They recently gained powers in weird circumstances that was some, demigod is I'm going to crash the sun into the earth. I'm going to light forever. And this demigod is drawn towards light and wants to make everything brighter and is a god of light pollution. And this gave this person powers in, this is a crossover. They have their whole other thing going on in their series. And they were like, we just need less light. And then maybe this horrific goddess will ignore us. It'll be worth it. And they were the one to bring the mafia in to do this. But that's the plan. I don't know that yet, but I'm just explaining what the plan is. And they are at this warehouse. They don't have good control over their powers yet, right? Like, there's just broken shit everywhere because they keep accidentally, like, running through walls as they're trying to get control of their powers while also trying to stop this thing.
Oh no. Oh god, no. I got too wrapped up in the aliens and the dimension portals, and I was gonna pick up her groceries. I got 7 texts, all increasingly angry, but in a way that feels like she's not mad, she's just disappointed. Oh, I'm so sorry, Miss Juarez. Alright, I gotta go get groceries. I mean, I'm using my powers here because speed is the name of the game, so we are blasting off with fire and all the speed in the world. That's going to be 5 dice. Anything that's not heart is resisted, so I need a 6 here, but I got 5 dice. That somehow is not 5 dice. That's fine. That is, that's a point of discredit.
The way to help Terrence and stop this would be to boost the TV signal coming from Terrence and counteract the TV signal coming from the low-pressure front secret lab.
Stores are closed. It's been a long enough time that, like, stores are closed, and I'm gonna have to, like, figure something else out. We're gonna go mind to see if, like, again, if I've got any favors that I can call in. I can't invoke my powers here, but I do have a 3rd dice. That's a 6. Okay, that's a progress. That's our first progress. And that's a resistant roll, so that's an experience point. Great, good, fine, wonderful.
Because this is the climactic fight of this arc of my comic book. Probably the first thing that they're going to do with their technology. Oh no, Brainstorm's secret underground TV station is broadcasting on a frequency that incapacitates all the local dogs. I can hear it because of my special dog powers. I can hear it as, like, you know, when they had that thing that was, like, supposed to stop teenagers from hanging out places, so they played a noise that was annoying to teenagers and no one else could hear. I can hear a terrible noise, but I can work through it. It completely incapacitates Vampire and all local dogs.
So I think the first thing that I want to do is try and catch them. It's not that they're running away from me, it's that they don't know how to stop. They are, like, caught in a loop. I walk up to this warehouse and I'm looking for them and I can't find them, and then zoop, they run by me, and then they run by me again, and it just becomes like, oh, you don't know how to stop. And I think this could either be power or skill. Is it precision? Because I think I'm going to use my gravity I'm going to try and catch them in my gravity and slow them down enough that they can stop. And is that, like, a big show of my power, or is it about making sure that I get in their way? I think it's power, because it's like I have to rely on them to, like, angle towards me, and I'm just trying to, like, provide enough gravity that they slow down. So, got a 2 in power. I am using my ability. So I'm rolling 3d6, and it just needs to be a 5 or a 6. 6. 2, 6. We're good. Go up to 6 progress.
What can we do to amplify our signal? Oh, I bet you there's, like, a superhero satellite. Like the Justice League used to live on a satellite. I can link the system here up with the existing satellite uplink from the superheroes, briefly giving me enough time to broadcast, hey, it's 2025, you dinguses. It's not 1978. I wasn't even born in 1978. Chances are neither were you.
It's a little meat cutie, right? In that, like, they are pulled towards me and I literally catch them in my arms. And I'm like, hi. And they're like, hi. thanks. Ow. And I like carefully put them down on the ground, and they're like rubbing their legs. And they're like, I don't really get why, if I can go super fast, it hurts. I'm so sore. I've been running all day. And I sit beside them, and it's going to be another heart roll. I'm going to roll my progress to try and talk them down, because I think it's really easy. They don't want to be doing this. And I just sit beside them. I'm like, yeah, don't have a lot of control over your whole deal, huh? They shake their head. Is that why you hired those witches to steal light bulbs or whatever it was? And they like laugh and shake their head. They're like, no, it was stupid. And they explain the whole thing that I was talking about earlier. And I'm like, whoa, heavy. And I know heavy. Kind of, pull something closer with my gravity. And they laugh shakily. And I'm like, look, I sympathize, but I think there's got to be another way, right? And they're like, yeah, probably. I don't know what, though. And I shrug. I'm like, you know what I normally do is ask some other people, when I can't figure something out. And they're like, who would I ask? And I gesture towards the town that we are just outside of. And I'm going to roll 6d6. And this is a heart solution, theoretically. Just need 5 or a 6. 2, 5, 6, 1, all good. I only have 7 check marks because that's what we're going to, but I added another one so that I can go to 8. And yeah, I have convinced them to stop this plan. I think they're like, I gotta make a couple calls. They have to call off the goons in a few different cities who were all trying to just destroy electricity. Basically, that was their overall goal. It wasn't very well organized. This was not a good plan. And I've convinced them to stay in this town, at least for a little while. We're going to do a big crossover series once this arc has wrapped up for me. It's great. Everybody's been looking forward to it. They love, these are the everyone has wanted these two to meet. I don't know why yet, but they have.
I've got some people that owe me a favor. Kelvin does a lot of things and makes a lot of people owe him a lot of favors. If the stores are closed, at least I know people that I can kind of like cajole into like letting me into their stores after hours. So like, I'm going to see if I can get there without, get there on time with my powers. I need a 6. That's a 6. Somehow a 1 out of 5 dice is a 6. That's great. That's wonderful. We're able to like get around the city using powers and ice slides and all those kinds of fun superhero things.
So first I'm going to roll mind to see if I can successfully connect my signal to the local TV station. Yes, I can. Yay. And unfortunately, next I have to roll heart to know if I convince these people. No, I don't. Oh, our favorite sci-fi program from the future is on, I hear people in the neighborhood mutter. Damn and blast.
I'm going to roll skill again. It's going to be, it's already resisted, so I'm going to roll skill again using power to like, now that I got the stuff, I just got to get it to her. Interesting. What does a failure look like here? Extra dice next time. I'm still technically wanted by the authorities, and I am zipping around the city, and there is going to have to be a power. Like, I'm going to have to do power plus special ability to avoid getting caught by the authorities as I try to rally these. That's a very Spider-Man sequence, but I'm very excited about it. I need a 6 here. I'm getting an extra dice for that experience point. I needed it because that is 1 dice out of 5 is a 6, so that's a 3rd point of progress, blowing through, blowing up cop cars and, like, smashing windows and freezing things and then giving them a tap so that they crack in, like, a spider web, throwing grocery bags in the air as I hit people with, like, a fiery sort of, like, M. Bison fiery spear, doing real superhero stuff, but all while juggling bags of groceries.
I'm going to bring them with me. I'm going to be like, hey, let's start meeting people, and maybe you owe my friend some stuff. And now we're going to go back to Raleigh, who is still in slow motion picking up their groceries. And I grab the receipt and just quietly hand it to the lightning speedster. And they very quickly dash off to the grocery store. I help clean the rest of it up, salvage what's there, and I tell Rally, like, my friend's replacing your stuff. They'll meet us at your place. You want to hop back on? We'll take you home. And they're like, yes, I would appreciate that.
I'm going to roll one more skill plus power. So that's 5 dice. Again, need a 6. Just trying to get these damn groceries back to her place. How did I fail this again? What is happening here? That is a 6 point of discredit.
Signal interruption. Dogs. Oh, I know. I'll steal a plot beat from Back to the Future and go, and if they believe that 2025 is the sci-fi far-flung future year, I'll go to a sci-fi nerd and convince them that I'm a time traveler. And I require them to... I will go to the 1978... No, this doesn't make any sense. This whole plot doesn't make any sense. It's happening, though.
I'm gonna go, do kind of a repeat of the same riff, which is like, I love that he's got these groceries, and it's just like an ever-increasing number of like people involved in this, and now there's press, and Councilwoman Joella is watching and calling for his arrest and his capture, and so like now there's a whole media circus. So I've kind of just got to like figure out, like, while I'm here, and I am taking so many things here. I'm taking an extra dice for that roll. I'm taking an extra dice for Councilwoman Joella being on the scene. I'm rolling 4 dice here and rolling mind to see if I have somebody that I can, like, hand these off to amidst the chaos to get those groceries to Miss Juarez. That's a 6. Okay. That's a 4th point of progress. Great. That's a 4th point of progress.
I'm going to go to the public library and find the local sci-fi club, because they have to meet in person because they believe it's 1978 and they therefore don't know how to meet online anymore. And I will convince them as a group that I'm from the future, which I will do easily because I have modern technology with me, and they'll be like, oh my goodness, look at that. That worked. They believe me. I'm from the future. I need your help to restore the future. I bet some of you are CB radio guys. I bet we can use that signal somehow.
My friend Hero is a bike messenger and like is doing rideshare stuff, and so like he happens to be nearby. I'm gonna slide him this bag of groceries, slip him an address, and I'm gonna roll 4 dice with heart to see if they get to Miss Juarez in one piece.
I'm gonna roll my 66 progress. This is power, because I'm lifting them again, and I've been doing a bunch of shit since we last met, so this is genuinely difficult. I guess I can throw my ability on there, right? So let's just say it's 76. Whatever. We're all good.
Yeah, we're gonna amp up the CB radio broadcast, and so I get an extra die. We're gonna get all of the sad dogs belonging to the sci-fi club people to all howl into the radio transmitter. And we're going to broadcast that and see if we can just drown out the bad guy's TV signal by being louder.
That's a 6. That's what we needed. That's a success. That's a point of inspiration.
6 right away. We're good.
And we can! Echoes throughout the town. Everybody's waking up as if from a dream, looking down going, why the hell am I wearing 70s clothes? Have we been stuck in a time loop? Sorta. And now that everybody realizes, wait a minute, that's not the weatherman that's usually on our TV. Terry, where are you? And Terrence is gonna make his triumphant return to the studio, and Terrence is gonna punch out the new weatherman, who is, of course, Brainstorm. And Brainstorm, I've decided, has probably got some, like, cyborg parts. So he punches the guy, and he crackles in a way that punching human flesh shouldn't, and short circuits brainstorms storm brain.
She gets her groceries, and we're all happy.
I'm going to mark a power achievement. And yeah, I carry them home. The speedster meets us there and helps set all their stuff up and apologizes a bunch. And Rally looks at them super judgmentally for all of the trouble. And I'll even bring Speedster home to crash on my couch. And that's where we go. Let's end this day and finish it up.
I think I'm going to recruit Terrence as a new superhero. Stay tuned next week, folk, for the adventures of Blue Shepherd and the Weatherman. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know if that made any sense to anybody, but our show is over for now. Same dog time, same dog channel. Good night, all.
Why did this weird light goddess give somebody super fast powers? I don't know. Oh, speed of light. Never mind, I do know. Fast. We're good. Don't worry about it. The thing I'm going to permanently solve is the goal of bringing eternal darkness, because for better or for worse, we now have this person who has related powers to light in town. Doesn't matter because we're not going to play that out, but it's true. I purposefully didn't get any XP, really, except for one during that, so we're just going to go to ending the journey.
We landed in an interesting place. It is the end of our day, and it is the end of the final day of our playthrough.
After a long time of fighting crime and helping neighbors, you can finally stop and see how your actions changed your neighborhood. When one of your reputations reaches 10, or in our case 7, it means you have done all you could for your community, either by achieving improvements or by showing ways your neighbors can contribute to a happier, peaceful life, even if through your shortcomings. When you've earned 7 points in a single achievement, it means you have reached a larger long-term solution for all of your neighborhood's problems through acting according to that reputation. It's time to create a scene about the ending of your journey, detailing all the changes brought by the reputation you built.
However, we ended up with 7 points in 2 separate categories. So I'm going to answer both of these questions.
I have 6 points in destruction, discredit, and misreading, but I managed to also get 8 points in inspiration. Holy shit.
We begin with control. Your journey as a hero has allowed you to understand the neighborhood and its problems like nobody else. You know every little detail about it, and you have a detailed plan to solve any issue that may ever show up. Describe how your planned contingencies protect your city from harm. Kelvin did odd jobs for people, and I think what this looks like is like a job posting board, or like a community outreach group, like a neighbor, not a neighborhood watch, but like a neighborhood like service org. Like it's like neighbors helping neighbors, right? Like I think like he kind of, people owed him favors, he owed other people favors, and that went from knowing that he had a friend who was doing rideshare and that he could like hand them a bag of groceries, to knowing that he has a councilwoman on file if he needs a favorite city council, and if that councilwoman needs a vigilante to hate on, she's got that. Like deals and favors are a thing that this character has traded in, and I think like that has taken the shape of the neighborhood itself.
Inspiration. Among all your great accomplishments, none compared to the most important of all, you made your neighborhood feel seen, appreciated, and understood. Sure, it was nice that you were able to defeat the villains and rescue all those cats from trees, but the reason those deeds meant so much was because your neighbors knew that to you they mattered. Even the villains felt seen, and you showed them there was another way. Describe how your actions brought your community together and inspired love and peace. How did you, your neighbors, the redeemed villains, and the new generation of heroes work together to turn the neighborhood into a more kind and accepting place? I did actually redeem 3 of my 4 villains, right? The mercenary, the speedster just now. There was the mafiosa, who wasn't explicitly a villain, but, you know, has some stuff. The beaver, Captain Buck, has been tricked, into helping the electric grid. All of these people that were causing problems, even the very first person, who was trying to blow up the town square, goes through, an accountability and rehabilitation process and begins to be a contributing member of society again. Not in a hashtag productivity makes you a person way, but in a like, I'm not going to do evil things, I'm going to help people kind of way. And it's just like, it's so obvious that we're already a weird town. We already have this very unusual unity between science and magic. And we just need to love harder. We need to open our arms and invite people to be with us. And we can do that. We do that. We pull people in, even when they are trying to target us. We have a hilariously high villain redemption rate because we can always find somewhere to put people. It helps that I think there's a lot of moral grayness here, you know? There's weird magic users, covens, evil scientists who we manage to channel their ambition into something that is overall productive and good, like Captain Buck. We allow them to be recognized for the good things that they do, and it feeds that in them. We're just really good at finding places to put people to get what they need and to contribute, and it's great. My smaller things, like that is the biggest one, but for misreadings, which is one of the ones I got at least half in, describe what measures your misreadings inspired the community to take in order to better understand people and solve their problems. What sort of social programs did your journey help kickstart? What did those programs accomplish? I think it's very similar to what we were just talking about, right? It's programs to help people learn how to apply their skills in different areas, to show them that they have a choice, that even if they have everything I touch lights on fire power, they don't have to be an arsonist. They can cook things if they want, or blow glass and be a metal worker. I think people come from all over, I think, to come to these programs, and it's great. There's also the destruction. Describe how your neighborhood developed ways of protecting themselves from any kind of destruction and of helping each other recover when destruction strikes. How did you help them rebuild, resist, and implement ways of teaching new heroes how to control their powers? I mean, shit, that's the same thing. It's those same programs. And I think, there's this big, part of this is about like trying to help train this speedster to control their super speed. And they run into somebody else who can't control their powers and bring them back and start training them, and it just spreads, and they sort of amalgamate into the like learning how to use your powers in a way that's niceys. That's also like, okay, first, before 101, level 100, being in control of them so that you can choose what to do with them. And I think like part of the thing here is that I retire a little, right? Which I will get into. Like, I'm not as necessary because all of this stuff is happening. And I think I loved helping to fix when I went and just like used my powers to lift stuff at construction sites. I was like, oh, this rules. Wait, can I just help build things? Oh, yeah, that's what I want to do. And that's one of the things, is that we're good at rebuilding because that's one of the things that I move into, and our processes, whatever, really ramp up around that, which is necessary because we have a bunch of people coming to us who like don't have control of their powers, or are really inclined to act out because they haven't learned how to channel them appropriately. And I'm just there helping to rebuild, but not actively getting in their way, just doing cleanup, which is nice for me. Then I've got discredit.
All the times you got yourself in trouble for not being particularly good at kicking ass and taking names were a lesson to your neighborhood. Superhero work is hard, and only those prepared should engage with it.
That's why you inspired the best generation of heroes that ever lived, taking your failures as a showcase of what not to do. How did you and your community help in that process? What sort of measures did your neighborhood implement to make superhero work easier and safer? This one's hard.
I think what we see is like a black town car pull up, and like men in black step out, and they've got like gauntlets, and we see kind of fire behind their eyes and like demon runes kind of running across their skin, and a rusted old van pulls up in front of them, and like 6 people roll out of it in also makeshift haphazard superhero costumes. One of them's got a baseball bat. One of them, we see like there's a robot driving, so we clearly can see that like animatronic is here helping in some capacity. And they have formed a neighborhood defense league. Nobody's gonna come fuck with our neighborhood because we've got 6 people with powers that can roll up if we need it.
Oh. This comes in part from a conversation between me and the speedster. I said to them, when I was convincing them to come help, to give up their brief dalliance into a life of crime, I ask other people for help. I don't try to just figure things out on my own. And at a certain point, they point out to me that that's not always true. I end up doing a lot of stuff by myself. And it's because there was no one else to help. And so the thing about this is that teamwork becomes really emphasized, not relying on one person, ever. Always being able to call for backup, always being able to disseminate information, crowdsource, brainstorm together, work together, solve things as a community. Not even through powers all the time, just through working together, knowing what you're good at, knowing when to ask for help. And that becomes extra important, even among people who have a tendency to get a little individual and isolate. Don't do that. Be part of a team.
This neighborhood is taking care of itself very tangibly, intangibly, practically, theoretically.
And this started with me, I dropped out of school, right? And I was living here. So I think one of the things is my mother's return home. They see someone sleeping on the couch. Everyone's startled, and then they chill. We talk about what's been going on, and I think we're talking about what they were up to. We're talking about the moon, and I learned that they're trying to build a little base or something on the moon. And the thing that happens is that I'm like, can I come help? And they say that they weren't planning on going up there, but that I can go for a little while. They can arrange that. And I, having realized in my time in the construction and repair how much I just love building stuff. And it'll be harder on the moon because my powers, I think, won't be as effective. Maybe. I don't know. Probably. Though I have been training them more. I don't know. You'll have to check out that series to see. But for now, I have seen this neighborhood taking care of itself, taking care of each other. And I'm going to go hang out on the moon for a little while. Do some building. And it's going to be great.
As for where Kelvin is, I think that he's just kind of, maybe we pan over and we just see him in the pinball arcade. He's getting that high score tonight because for once the neighborhood doesn't need him for anything. And he's going to enjoy that. And that is the end of our game.
Yay, we saved Golden Pastures. Hurrah!
Good luck out there, Orbit. This has been Folio, an actual play podcast about solo and otherwise self-paced TTRPGs. To find where you can find the show, check out foliopod.card.co. You can find Gwen at Gwen Frankenstien on Bluesky. You can find Jeff at Party of One Podcast and jeffstormer.com. You can find Satah, that's me, at gaygothvibes.online, and follow me on Bluesky at posatachips.gaygothvibes.online. This week, Gwen and Jeff and I finished our game as a friendly neighborhood superhero by Cat Scratcher Studio, found at catscratcher.itch.io. Everything I mentioned here is linked in the show notes. Thanks so much for listening. Take care out there. Let me know what you thought. Given my reservations and feelings and thoughts in the first episode, I rarely solicit, hey, if you listen to the show, talk to me. But hey, if you listen to the show, talk to me. I don't know. There's a Bluesky. There's an email. I'm around. And the show is around. And you are. Thanks for that.